It's time for pretty good news from the Wisconsin Maritime Museum.
Welcome aboard. I am Shane Lee of the Wisconsin Maritime Museum at Manitowoc. We begin this week's episode with a Manitowoc maritime mystery that takes us all the way to Thunder Bay in Michigan. Maritime archaeologist Stephanie Gandulla gets to the bottom of the mystery at the bottom of Lake Huron. Manitowoc, Wisconsin is the birth site of many ships over the centuries, but few of those vessels come with a mystery like that of the three-masted schooner Cornelia B. Windiate. James Butler and Thomas Windiate built the schooner in 1874. Only 1 year later, the ship and its crew disappeared. Because of the cold, fresh water of the Great Lakes, Windiate was easily identifiable when it was discovered more than 100 years after sinking.
Its masts are still standing upright. The hatches are still closed. Normally when you have a ship that sinks, it's a pretty violent affair, and the air escaping would blow the hatches off, and you'd have masts crashing down and splintered wood everywhere. But this one is very intact.
In 1986, John Steele and Paul E. Horn located the ship off Presque Isle in Lake Huron in roughly 185 feet of water. The wreck is so well preserved that E. Horn could identify the wreck by the name carved into the rail on both sides of the rear cabin. Windiate departed Milwaukee in November 1875, taking grain to Buffalo. To this day, the ship's cargo holds contain thousands of wheat bushels.
It also gives us insight into the daily lives of the people that survived working on the Great Lakes. I mean, these are tragic stories, and there were 9 crewmen lost on the Windiate. But there's thousands and thousands of more people that we have, the Windiate gives us a window into their lives.
Windiate lies in deep enough water to be a highly technical dive requiring years of training. However, there are other options for novice divers to explore. During the COVID-19 crisis, people can still learn to dive through virtual platforms. Another option would be shipwrecks accessible by snorkel. Several shallow wrecks lie both in the Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary and Manitowoc County waters in Lake Michigan.
The sanctuary waters are indeed still open. Lake Michigan, the waters of Lake Michigan are still open, and the people are practicing the proper and safe social distancing. You can still go out and snorkel on a shipwreck.
To learn more about what you can see in Alpena, visit the Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary Facebook page. If you want to stay closer to your cheese curd supplier, visit wisconsinshipwrecks.org. This week's featured artifact requires no scuba training or even a snorkel. In fact, it can probably fit in your pocket, and that is probably where it's spent most of its life. Here's Kate Seguin with her favorite piece of the museum.
Hi, my name's Kate. I'm the Special Events Manager at the Wisconsin Maritime Museum, and like my favorite artifact, the Gilmore Dollar, I like to travel. The Gilmore Dollar went with a few sailors over to the Marshall Islands, and it made its way back to their hometown of Manitowoc. I think it's just an incredible journey that the dollar made, and that's why it's my favorite.
Thanks, Kate. That explanation makes a lot of sense. With a C. On that note, here's the actual joke of the day from Karen Duvall.
How much does it cost for a pirate to get his ear pierced? A buccaneer.
Wow, that joke might be as bad as actually getting your ears pierced. That's all we've got for this week's show. Just a reminder, no matter how bad things may seem, a lot of us get to wear sweatpants to work, and that's pretty good news.